I didn't promise that $5,000 credit, but now he's getting that $5,000
Yeah.
credit. He was supposed to come out with $19,000. He's coming out with $11,500,
Man.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible? He didn't
Yeah.
even need his dad's gift money. But isn't it
Wow.
so much nicer to find out that you didn't need $11,000 than the opposite and say, okay, now you need $11,000.
Buying a remodel home is great. It's move-in ready, but you're still gonna want to make it your own. What if you didn't like that countertop? What if you didn't like that backsplash? What if you didn't like the paint? You're still gonna go in there and make it your own and spend more money. And why not buy something that's a little bit of a fixer-upper cosmetically? It's move-in ready, but you could make it your own and not have to pay retail for it, because that retail that you're paying for is part of your mortgage and the interest you're paying the mortgage company.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing too. A lot of times when people buy brand new builds and everything like that, it shows so beautifully well.
Mm-hmm.
And the first home that I bought in Elk Grove was also a brand new build, right? So let me tell you, when you finally buy it, it does not look anything like the model home.
Of course
it never
not.
does, right? And I spent over $100,000 worth
To
of
deck it
upgrades.
out.
And what did I get for it? I got cabinets. I got upgraded carpet. I had bamboo wood floors, and I had a backyard. So four items cost me $100,000. Now back then I wasn't in this industry, and I thought it was a steal of a deal because I didn't really have to put any money out of pocket, right? So I was like, okay, it's all financed in. Let me tell you, when you finance it all in, guess what? You finance $100,000 more. That's $100,000 more. You're also paying property tax. So every time I say anything to my clients, it's lessons that I've done, mistakes that I've done myself before I was in the industry. So after that, I'll say, okay, let me understand this a little bit more. And when I understood it a little bit more, then I became interested in lending and the numbers. Numbers are super boring, Chia. Let's be real, okay? It's very overwhelming. You really don't know who's telling you the truth, especially if you're a first-time buyer and whatnot, right? And sometimes, even with the charts that I've created over the years and everything like that, I might try to make it as simplified as possible. But even still, for a first-time buyer, sometimes it can get really, really overwhelming. Totally understandable. So that's why when you're comparing, I always want to tell people, send me what your lender has sent you so that I can show a very side-by-side, very easy for me to do so that you can see. Because a lot of times people like downplay, especially new home builds. They downplay what the mortgage insurance is going to look like. They downplay what the home insurance is going to look like, to make their monthly payment look a lot less. But in reality, what they're trying to get at, I was like, well, we want to show you that we're a lot less expensive. But in reality, when it finally comes to the closing table, hey, wait a minute, why do these numbers look different? If you can afford a $2,000 mortgage, then you absolutely can afford $1,800, right? Whereas sometimes I see a lot of the wheel and deal, a lot of the internet companies, not that it's bad or anything like that, but they fail to look at that wholeheartedly. Right? And then now, instead of 1,800, they're coming out with 2,000. If you didn't budget for that from the very beginning, it is going to be a little bit more difficult for you to maneuver that, right?
Why do you think that is, Lisa? Because like I get that all the time, right?
It's so competitive.
Yeah,
It's super competitive.
that and like a client will kind of go to like an online lender and they would be like, I got a quote for this much, and like, why is it that Lisa's quoting me so much more higher? And like, I always gotta let them know, how much information did they request from you versus what Lisa's requesting. Because I'll get clients that will come to me and be like, this other lender, Chia, didn't even ask for nothing. They gave me a qualification that's higher than Lisa's. Lisa's asking me for an arm and a leg of documentations. Don't you want the most accurate loan scenario? Let's just assume you went with this other lender that did not request anything of you, but then you like the pre-approval amount way better than Lisa's. We submit an offer. Our offer gets accepted. You order inspections, appraisals, pest inspections, and you're now out $1,000 minimum. And then when we get into escrow, the lender tells you, oh, you're actually only qualified for X amount, which now doesn't reflect the purchase price, so you're gonna have to cancel or come out the difference. That client's gonna be super pissed, right? They're gonna be like, why didn't you tell me this from the beginning? I already spent $1,000 on inspections. Oh, well, because you didn't give us any docs until you found the home.
Right. And then at that time, it's like, well, why didn't you ask? Why didn't you say anything, right? And I've had to come in to be the save a lender quite a few times because of that, And again, not to knock on any other lenders, right now in the mortgage industry, the line is super duper long. And I'm going to ask for grace and patience for every single one, just because the longer the line is, just like when you go to Disneyland or when you go to Costco or Walmart, why do you still wait for those lines? Or if you wait for a Michelin star restaurant, why are you waiting? You're waiting because it has a great reputation of having, a great service. For Costco anyway, you're doing it for the bargain. And we work with several lenders, Chia. You know that we have that segue to be able to do that. And a lot of times I have to take a look at the situation and say, okay, what is more important, for us to close early or for the borrower to save more money? It really depends on the person. If it's a hard, we have to do this by a certain amount of days, then I will let the clients know this is what it's going to be and everything like that. And if you're okay with it, let's go ahead and proceed. But if the client's funds are really, really tight, then I'll let you know, Chia. We've done this several times, like, hey, it is going to be a little bit longer just because their rates are phenomenally lower and I'm able to get them X, Y, and Z credits. Okay. And that helps. Just like the whole situation. I didn't promise that $5,000 credit, but now he's getting that $5,000 credit. He was supposed to come out with $19,000. He's coming out with $11,500, right? Isn't that incredible? He didn't even need his dad's gift money. But isn't it so much nicer to find out that you didn't need $11,000 than the opposite and say, okay, now you need $11,000?